Hello and welcome back to the Doctor's Garage here on YouTube. And as you can see, I'm with my Land Rover Defender 90. I've been talking for a while about these two massive upgrades I'm doing for the interior of my Defender 90. And today, first part is finally here. You might have seen on my Instagram if you follow me. If you don't, go follow me right here. The new part from Massai 4x4 I received earlier this week. So we're going to be unboxing that and fitting that today. But first, let's take a look inside my Defender. So this modification is all about interiors. Now let me show you the front of my interior of my Defender 90. So a few things if you're new to the channel you might not have seen. Got a new steering wheel on here. Got the Momo Prototipo. This has all been Exmoor trim carpeted throughout. I've got a lot of little details from Optimil, such as the vent knobs, these which I think are daisy fuse box clips or something like that. We've got also the pedal covers as well. It's got Exmoor trim carpeting throughout, including like the leather gaiters and stuff, all Exmoor trim. Cubby box, pretty horrific, as are I think the seats. I'm not a big fan of these seats in general. On the seat here as well, another Optimal bit of gear, the swivel lock, great piece of kit. If you don't have one, definitely get one. Stop your Defender getting stolen. Other bits and bobs we've got, the new sills I put on in the last video. We've got the seat corner protectors from ORE, which are brilliant. Powerful UK door cards, Optimal bits and bobs again. In the back, pretty terrible, to be honest. I've cut this out here at some point, which has made a big difference to getting the seats back. Carpeting needs to be sorted. Thanks to you guys that left me tips on where you get the carpets from. We'll be looking at that. And it's sort of, for me, it's this whole interior back piece that bothers me. So if we go around the back, and let's go inside the back and take a look at this in a bit more detail. So looking at the inside, the problem is, and ignore the carpeting for now, we'll get that sorted. It's because this was originally a van back vehicle that this window had been cut in, as have the rear quarters as well. You've got a lot of exposed aluminium. I've silent coated a lot of this. It does definitely sound a lot better, but still, it's just not the best to look at, and you get a lot of sound reverberation through it. You get a lot of moisture buildup as well on the sheet aluminium. And for me, I wanted something to tidy all of this up. I've done the roof. The roof is looking much better. This is actually a LaSalle interior that I covered myself here on the channel. Really happy with how that's gone, but it still leaves all this very bare and just looking quite exposed with all the seatbelt points, particularly from a front driver point of view, where you've got this area here that's all exposed and not very nice. So this is the new part I've got. Let me show you. So this is the brand new package that I've got from Masterplan 4x4, which is going to solve that problem on the inside of the whole back of my Defender 90. So let me show you what we have in here. These are made by Massai 4x4 to fit your Defender. They're really well manufactured. They're not Land Rover original parts. They're probably better, to be fair. And these have been covered. So these ones have been covered in an Alcantara type material. This is Alston Black I've gone for. They come in a whole variety of colours depending what you're kind of wanting to, the look you're trying to get in your Defender. But this is what I've gone for, and this is where the seatbelt points go in. So this is going to cover the front bit near the driver's side, and then the rear as well. We've then obviously got the second one, which is exactly the same, and that is here. And I've also got these clips for my TD5, which just help put the liner on, I believe, but I'll be working these out with you here when I start fitting these into the back of my Defender. You've also got another piece, which is this bit, and these are the two side portions for the rear quarter windows. So again, I've got these covered in Alston Black, and this is what we're going to be putting into that side end portion of the Defender to hopefully just tidy all that back end up. And I'm really excited to see what this looks like and how much it can transform what mine is essentially a commercial van back to more of a station wagon spec. So I imagine a lot of you guys who are watching this have probably got Defenders that are van back. You might have cut the windows in, you might not have done. For me, it's made a big difference on the outside look of my Defender, but also just giving me much better visibility when I'm driving it around. I also must add, while I've been filming this video, I spoke to Massai 4x4 and they very kindly offered discounts site-wide on the Massai 4x4 website if you use this code at checkout. Now, this is pretty amazing because Massai 4x4 never ever do discount, and they're obviously known for things such as their interior liners, but also their panoramic glass windows. So anything you're interested in, if you've been thinking of getting something from Massai 4x4, now is your opportunity. The discount code is right here, and it gets you discount off the entire site for a limited time only. More details will be available in the description below this video. So there's going to be a few changes when I do this, and you can see already in the back here for the rear seat belts, That's probably gonna have to come out. I didn't fit that originally. I don't have people in the back of my Defender very often, but all this is probably gonna have to come out to be able to fit the new trims at the rear and the side, because they're gonna cover all that area. Probably could cut it through. I'm not sure yet, but I'll see how I go with that. I'm tempted to leave them off for now and then maybe think of another solution to have seat belts in the back of my Defender should I want to put people in the back again. So the first thing we need to take off is this. So a couple of bolts just there we're going to unscrew, and then at the front as well there is the seat belt for the driver too, which I need to take off to be able to get the lining in there. And it will cover up all this horrible bare aluminium area through there and just tidy up the whole back end, I'm hoping. Or should just come out. It's a bit stuck in the top there. Oh, that's my drill. And that just pulls out, so that's good. It's taking all that out now. And this is what we're going to be covering now with the new trims. You can see here, Masai, these are the rear quarter windows I cut in with a jigsaw and fitted. And then after I got them fitted, I got them tinted. So you can buy them tinted. I decided to go for them clear because I also got my sides tinted at the same time and I wanted them to be exactly the same. So I cut these out. There's a YouTube video about it on my channel. Really easy to do. And Masai do the glass and the seals as well. So you want to get that discount as well for what I'm doing on the interior trims. You can also get discount on these as well. So head over to the website if you fancy cutting out some windows on your Defender. One of the things you get with the kit as well, you get the screws, which are to put the trim and fix it. And you also get this quite clever little cutout of all the felt circles to match the same colour. This is Alston black. Just to cover up all those points I'm going to make in the trims, just to make it look a little bit neater. So I've pulled that seat forward now so you can really see what we're going to be doing. When you take the little cap off there, take that bolt out and take the seat belt connector off, and this is what's all going to be covered with the trim. And I think it just finishes perfectly around here where the door opens. So that is the next job. I also know from experience getting these off you need something quite punchy. I've got my impact drill here just to get these off because they are quite tight. To be fair, it's kind of what you want when it's where your seatbelt attaches to. So now we are ready to go. Got that off. You'll also find with the kit as well, you do get an installation guide, which is quite useful just to let you know the order that things need to be done in. These are those internal window trim lower retaining clips. So they're just little metal brackets, and they just go on there and give you like an anchor point almost to be able to then put a screw into. I think that's what they're for anyway, from what I've seen on the website. So I've just looked online on the Masai website, and these go in that top bolt and just sit there. And then, like I say, that gives an anchor point to be able to put the trims on. So just taking that top clip out, and what I'm going to do is be putting this just like that and putting it back on. I put that on there now, so that's holding quite well. So then the whole sheet will lay over these points, and that should be good. So now I've taken everything off, it's time to start looking at fitting the trim. So as you can see, there's a hole here and there's a hole down here, and this is for that little clip that I've just put on. So my headliners are a bit messy at the moment with things, but it's still going to fit in really well and just cover all this bare metal up. So that is with the piece lifted into place. You can see now that's where the seatbelt's going to go, and look how much better that tidies up all that front element up and right around the window too, in this really nice kind of Alston black Alcantara type material. So looking around the back as well, this just fits around there, and I'm very pleased to see that the window actually fits, because I was a bit worried that that had been cut out to the wrong size, but it looks pretty much perfect. And then we have this piece, which is the rear quarter on this side. This has got to be the most satisfying part, just getting rid of all that messy stuff just behind there. It's holding that in place now, but you can see already that is where it's going to screw in, just next to the seals on that piece of metal, so on that side just there. And it just makes the whole thing look way tidier all around the window section, and that as well. So I'm really pleased with how that looks. So, falling down, gets rid of all this horrible mess, and looks so much better. Actually looks a little bit more like a station wagon. So going to be putting that in and working with these little screws that I guess are self-tapping screws that just go through this bit of metal work up here and in a few other places just to get the screws into place. That's at least what it says in my instruction manual. The instructions, the first thing to do is to shape it to get it to fit. Mine seems to fit pretty perfectly, and then we put the seatbelt bolt point in place as the first thing to hold it in place, and then just where I was showing you there in the rear, start putting these screws in here to hold it in place. That's the first step of this. and then really it's going along that bit underneath the window and just putting the screws in. So along here with the screws and just putting them in at intervals well spaced, just to make sure that it looks good. And I think that's pretty much it, and then just securing it in a few of these places, and that is pretty much the job done. So let's start doing that and see how we go. Just put that screw in there. That's got to be one of my favorite parts, just the way that covers this zone through here where your seatbelt are. Looks so much better than it did before. Step now to the seatbelt is to put in the little screws down this side point here, just to hold this piece in place, and then you can start tightening everything else up, it says. So that is the first little screw just put in there, and that's held it really tight already. Going to put probably just one more actually in this bit section here, and I think that'll hold it quite well. Then I've got to get these edges together to make a neat job of it, and it's yeah, coming together brilliantly. It's the second screw at the top there, so I've got two holding that in really firmly, just neatened up that edge really right to the seam. And when you compare that to this side, you can see massive improvement on that. And that is the pieces fitted. So I've put the little screws in a few key places around there just to hold them on. You can see on the front there, I put a little screw in just there just to hold it on quite tightly, so now you really can't feel that that is moving at all. And I'm really pleased with how that looks. It's definitely tidied it up, and the same on this side as well. Perfectly fit those Masai windows that I did about a year ago, and it really tidies up the rear boot trim as well. So definitely a worthwhile modification if you're thinking of sort of tidying up the back of your vanback Defender. Does go all right with my roof. I think, I mean, it looks different colour in this light, but actually it's the same. It would be probably quite good to get the roof liner to match from Masai, so it all kind of makes one piece. But for now, I think it looks fine to us. You wouldn't really know. It's usually quite dark in the back of here anyway. So yeah, that is my liner done. Really pleased with how that all fits together. Quite a simple job to do. Just to note, I did have to get rid of my rear seat belts, and consequently I'm going to be getting rid of my rear seats, I believe. I'll put these on eBay, so I've literally no idea how much these are worth. They are like brand new, Exmoor trim seats again. I'll be putting them on eBay very soon, so you guys can kind of bid on them and see how much they're worth, because I don't really know. But yeah, taking them out there, I'm going to potentially go for a different seating setup in the back of my Defender soon. So yeah, taking them out, actually it's quite neat there. Again, the grey, not so sure, probably need to go for some black carpet. I'm going to look into that very shortly. So overall, not a particularly complicated job. What I would say though is, because Defenders are so different, everyone's Defender slightly fits differently, slightly different shapes in some ways, that adjusting and getting it to fit is a little bit of a challenge. You may have to trim a little bit off yours, for example, but overall really happy with that. Remember, you get a discount off the whole of the Masai website by clicking the link below in the description for this video and using my code. You get some discount off. So if you want to get some pan windows, some of those rear quarter windows, or some interior trim like I have, you can go there right now. I have part 2 of my interior upgrade coming up in the next week. It's massive. I'm so excited. The delivery came today, so stay tuned to the channel and I'll see you guys very soon.